Parts of computer and peripherals. A computer, it's a computing device. Desktop computer, laptop, or present day mobile. So whenever we are talking about computer, all those connecting devices which can be connected for different purposes are peripherals. So what is a computer? See, the word gives you the definition. If I take compute is, computer, this compute is the basis of computer. This computing, because computer is a computing device. Initially, if you remember, Charles Babbage created it, and it was basically to do certain computation automatically in a faster way, and some mathematical problems, some general problem that can be solved, right? So it was a big room when Charles Babbage created, a lot of heat, big room, lot of electromechanical and these electronic devices. So computer system is a programmable machine. So what is the main work of this computer system? First is it has to do certain work. That is, if you give arithmetic logic operation, for example, I'll just take a small example. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Calculator also does that. But 2 plus 3 computation it has to do, and also this 5 it has to store as well. Okay? So computer system is a machine that is being made to do certain computation, to make your life comfortable, to do your all computation in a faster and logical way. And then whatever data is there, it need to store also. And you can retrieve also later. So there are three main parts of a computer. The main part is central processing unit. This box which you are witnessing is a CPU. When I was first subjected to this CPU, or I saw the computer, I saw this whole box is a computer, this CPU. But basically it has multiple devices inside it. For example, it has a motherboard, it has a processor. That processor is the brain of this computer. Only processor won't do anything, or wouldn't be able to do anything. You need to have a RAM, you have to have a hard disk, you have to have, say, SMPS, the power supply. So there are so many things which are inside this CPU. But the idea is all about the processor, computing device. All the computation and operations are done here. So if you have to input this 2 and 3, how to input this 2 and 3? You need to have some input device. We'll talk about all the input devices. Just for beginning, just assume that you have to input this 2 and 3 inside your computer or computing device. This is your input unit. Now this 2 plus 3 goes inside your CPU, all the operations are done, and then 5 comes out. So how to see this 5? You need to have an output device. So previously it was CRT monitor, then different type of LCD, LED, all these have come. So desktop computers, which you see here, which is in this picture, this is your table. My drawing is not that good, but still, this is a table. Now you put certain electronic devices, computing devices on your desktop, on your desk, that on the top of the desk. So that is why it is called desktop. The word has come from here only. You are putting these on your desk on the top. Similarly, the laptop, the computing device which is placed on your laps, it's laptop on your laps. In desktop computers, I just told you that there are 3 units, separate devices in desktop computer. So what do you have? Keyboard will be different. A box that is called the CPU. As I said, it has RAM, ROM, and processor, power unit, and the motherboard, the hard drives. These are the content of a CPU. This is called the central processing unit, a box. The result will be shown in the monitor, which is the video display unit. So this whole is called a computer, right? Now, if you see on the back, there are different ports here. Today we have ports in the front also. This size of this box which you see is a form factor. If I make it smaller, the form factor will be small. The size is called the form factor. So you enter certain data, certain instruction, and this instruction is understood by the computer. For example, 2 plus 3 is 5 and 5 plus 6 has to be 11. These are the instruction, these are the data 5 and 6 you are giving. Instruction is that you have to add. This all program are written in C, C++, Python, the assembly languages, everything is there. Different programming languages. So what instructions you give, what output you get, the desired format you want. So this is all the combination because these are certain instructions. I'll just give you a very simple example. Let us take a C++, say input. Okay. Say cout you have. This is just a simple program, set of instructions which I am trying to tell you. What are the instruction? For example, enter numbers. If these two numbers are coming, we will take it in Cin. A and B will take A and B, and then C equals A plus B. And then we'll do cout, that is printing. Cout is for printing, Cin is for inputting. C equals A plus B is the computation part. You don't worry about this program. It is just to show how the instruction looks, how the coder programmer makes program. So now I'm talking about the CPU, this box. In laptop, there is no separate CPU or a video or the input device. In mobile also. Today we have everything in a mobile or a tablet. So coming back to CPU, CPU has a control unit. It has the second part as arithmetic logical unit, ALU, and the third is memory unit. Now let us take a real life example. There is a company. Okay. So whenever you go inside, there will be a receptionist, and there will be certain manager. So when you go inside, there will be receptionist, reception will be handling certain thing, manager will be handling people and the stuff. Okay. So the manager and receptionist are kind of, their work is to control the company, the work of the company. Whoever is coming, the stock is coming, or whom has to be provided what job, given what job. So this is all the instruction they are taking, and they are coordinating with different parts, the part of the company or people to perform certain operation the way company wants. So this receptionist and a manager, you can together call them as control unit. Okay. Now coming to accountant, what is his work? Accountant. Now 2 plus 3 is an accounting work. So the accounting work is all the computation work. Okay. So this is just a basic computation. The today's computer, they are doing high end, we have supercomputers also, we have high end workstations also. So this is all the mathematical and logical calculation which an accountant does, and this is this part, ALU, the accountant. Now coming to the store manager of the company. The store manager or store officer of the company, he is basically responsible for storing temporary storage or the permanent storage. Temporary storage is in RAM, permanent is in your hard drive. So he'll say, oh, yesterday I had a consignment. Now the manager is asking, or the client is asking, he'll just retrieve it. Storage. So when you take all these units, combine them, it becomes laptop. Right? Laptop can be folded. It's low in weight. That is 3 kg around and more than that. So when you combine this, it will become a laptop. So you have to combine input unit, output unit, CPU. You combine this in a laptop. So this input output, we also count them in a computer as a peripheral. Why they are called as peripheral? See, tablet, mobile or whatever, you need to connect certain devices. For example, your earphone. Earphone you always plug into your mobile to listen to the songs, to talk. So your earphone or mic is the peripheral device. Periphery means peripheral has come from the word periphery. Periphery is basically the boundary. So you have in center your device, computing device, all other things which can be connected to this boundary or in this periphery, which can be connected, they're called as peripheral devices. They are plugged into the computer and there are different connection ports. You have USB port, you have HDMI port. So they have different technology, different connection, different input, output, different power levels. So you have different ports and every port has certain specification. And this specification is used for connecting different devices. And these devices, which can be connected to a computer, to your laptop, to your mobile, is called as peripherals. Okay. Coming to input devices. Input device is taking the instruction, taking the information. When you want to give the information, you have to have an input device. So this keyboard, if you see, the basic is keyboard. This is a keyboard layout. Now, whenever you speak, if you have to give instruction to someone, you will speak. You will say, get me 2 kgs of potato. So you are saying 2 kg is kilogram and potato is the stuff. So you need to enter in computer. How to enter? You have to enter from, you will use A to Z. You will enter 0 to 9. And there is one more. This is a previous kind of keyboard. A right one, you see, they are only numbers. Previously, people used to do a lot of calculation work like accounting, etc. For that, a separate pad was given just to give the computation work. So these are only numbers, plus, minus, etc. But this top is also giving the number. So there are two types of keyboard normally, ASDF and QWERTY. ASDF is basically ASDF, these keys are there. And QWERTY is same way. So input devices, we have letters, numbers, functions, controls, combination of the keys that will give the instruction. There are other input devices as well. Like if you want to record certain thing in your computer or on your mobile. So you need a microphone. So microphone is also an input device. If you see, there is a plug-in where you plug your microphone or your earphone or your mic. This is to record your device. So keyboard is an input device, microphone is an input device. Now web camera is for recording videos. This is also an input device. Now many computers and the laptops, they come with this built-in microphones and webcams. Web camera is also the input device. There is another input device. When you want to convert the actual physical document into the digital document, you need a scanner, right? So these are all there. Most of the computer they already have. But if you want to have some other microphone or web camera, you can always connect. Now this is a scanner. Scanner has a glass. You put your paper over it like the photocopier machine and then you press a scan button. You need to have a software also in your system. So this physical document which you can touch, this is converted into digital document. That is, which is a computer readable document or format. Now you can send it using your email, you can save it, you can send it through WhatsApp, etc. For example, if you want to fill in an admission form of a college, of a school or some job, you will just write it, or you can write it on your computer also. You can scan it and you can send it through email. Previously, we have to buy a form, we have to manually enter it, then we have to go to the post office, then you have to post it. All this you don't have to do now. So you are buying time also and not wasting your money also. So let me show you, these are the input. So input devices are keyboard, mouse, the camera, the microphones or the mics, recording devices. These are all input devices. Coming to the output devices. See, whatever you enter, the computation will be done in a computing device. Then you need to have a output also, output display. So you can have a video display unit, your screen, computer screen. And there are HDMI connections. You can show it into a projector or your TV. And now you can also show in various other way also. I'll give you the example of each or the name of each. Say, for example, if you want to compute the percentage or say average, I'll take three numbers. If you enter three numbers in a computer, you have to manually enter through the input device 2, 3, 5 like this. Let me make it 4 to make it easier. So 2, 3, 4, you want to find out the average. The computer want to show this result. So 2 plus 3 plus 4, that is 9 divided by 3. This is the average, that is 3 will come. Now this 3 has to be shown somewhere. This 3 has to be shown somewhere. This will be shown in your monitor screen. That is why monitor screen is an output device, right? In the same way, printer is also an output device. Printer is whatever you are witnessing on your computer screen. Now, printer is an electromechanical device that will convert your command of a digital document. It will print it or it will make it as a hard copy. You can touch that in a paper, on a paper, different kind of paper. So whatever information you are getting, you can see it on a paper. You can distribute it also. Okay. Now you are listening to a song. How do you listen to a song? You have to have a speaker. So you want to have a big speaker. So this is the sound output. Speaker is also an output device. So the various output devices, most of them are normally built in today. But you can always connect it as a peripheral device. So there are certain commonly used peripheral devices which we discussed also, and this are very common peripheral device, and most of these companies, IT company basically, and other companies also in institutions, organizations will see this. So the CPU can be connected with various different peripheral devices which helps in your work. The basic is your keyboard. Now this is used to provide the input to the computer. You can enter the letters, numbers or symbols. So this is how you enter your information. Mouse is also doing this. The only thing is it can move different parts. Okay, you have icons, you can click, you can open the application, you can drag the content, you can delete so there are various functions this mouse can do by itself. Right now we have touch screens, microphones. So this is used to record the voice on the computer and also to communicate. Projector. So if we have a presentation, there are so many people sitting. So there is a screen in front of this projector, and this is how the project images are projected, and the video is coming from the computer on a screen. So this is a kind of when we have an audience, big audience, in a presentation room or meeting, this projector is used. Projection work it does. Monitor, whatever output is there, visually you can see. So whenever processing is done, output is seen here after you have given the input. So the application is seen here. Speaker. So it plays back all the sound based output. Whatever is sound, even if you click something, the computer sound will come out of it. Speaker. The computer and laptop, they always have a speaker inbuilt now. But if you want a big speaker, you have to always connect it. Scanner, as I said, it's a device that capture a paper image. That is a physical document. And that document will convert it into a digital file or a computer readable file. Okay, on a computer. Now you can have it on a computer, you can edit it, or you can send it also. Means propagate it also. Scanner. It scans the document, physical document. The reverse work is done by printer. Printer does what? Whatever is in your computer, now you want to distribute it on a physical paper, or you want to have a project report or anything like that. So it helps to print out the visual output of the paper. There are other peripheral devices also. For example, if you go to a retail store, like a supermarkets, like a Walmart, now you'll see that everything comes with a barcode. Every product comes with a barcode. So this barcode is simply a code which holds the information of that particular product. It will have the packet will contain a barcode. It will have the information about what is the content, what is the content inside, what is the price, what is the weight, all these things. So this barcode reader will read that barcode. Basically, barcode reader is a barcode scanner only. So you see in this picture, there is a kind of scanning going on. So it just read the barcode and all the information it gets into the computer or whichever device it is. So you can produce a bill, you can scan the QR code. Right now, this is all the UPI's payment. All this is done using this QR code, which is essentially the barcode only. Okay. So this is the use of, and this is how the purchasing and all this transformation of digital has changed. Now scanner is also normally we use in office and homes. It will convert the paper document into a digital information document. CPU, Central Processing Unit. Now this or CPU. So CPU, you can term it as a brain of a computer. So especially the desktop computer, if you see, there is a box. And this box is called as Central Processing Unit. Why it is unit? Because it has lot many gadgets or instruments or different devices. Okay, CPU, if you compare it with a human, it's like a brain of a computer. How does brain work? Take an example of human being. We see through our eyes. You can call it as an input. So that input can be some command, it can be mathematical problem, it can be logical problem. And then this eye sends the details to the brain. When the brain gets the information, it processes. Process means thinks, or processes means it converts into or do the proper mathematical or any kind of computation it is expected to. And then what will your hand do? You will write it on a paper or do certain other way to give the result or act in a certain way. Say paper output. Okay. In a similar way, what your mind is thinking and then it comes out from your body or from your hand. So in the similar way, CPU processes information and the input is coming from a keyboard. Input is coming from a keyboard and the output is given to a monitor. It can be a monitor, it can be a printer. There are so many output devices we have discussed. So just as our brain is equipped or trained to understand the various logics, it can be arithmetic, it can be normal logic. The CPU is also equipped. For example, if I say this is his brother and there are two people. So you will say who they are brothers. The person A is brother of B and B is a brother of A. So this CPU can also solve mathematical and logical problems. So there are three main parts of CPU. The first is the control unit. Then we have a processing unit and then we have a memory unit. Basically, processing unit is the key. It has a processor, right? But the control unit and memory unit is also important. For example, take an example of a company, say X company. There will be a receptionist in front. There are managers also. The receptionist and manager work is to control all the parts of the organization and what all our operations are required. So whom to send, what to receive, this is the control unit part. Then there will be an accountant here. Now whatever information he gets, whatever task he gets from the manager, he will perform certain operations on it. You can call it as a mathematical and logical operation, in this case, calculation. So you can call an accountant as a processing unit. Coming to the store officer. The store officer will take care of the storage activity, warehouse or some upkeeping of the work or keeping it in the shelves. So this, he can always give the information, he can always save the information. So we have memory unit. So we'll be talking about the RAM and ROM. RAM is random access memory, ROM is read-only memory. RAM is a temporary storage, ROM is a long-time storage. So these are basically saving your work, data. What is the difference between RAM and ROM, and what are RAM and ROM? RAM and ROM, full form is RAM is random access memory. The name is suggesting that from it has the points where you can go anytime and you can access the information. So it's random access. There is no sequential access, right? It's a semiconductor memory. RAM only has data till your computer is on or your device is on, computing device is on. Once your device is off, RAM will not have the data. It will be refreshed again on the restart. Now coming to ROM, actually, flash drive is also a concept which is a combination of RAM and ROM. But ROM is, right now we are talking about the computer memory, which is where BIOS is stored, where your computer startup takes place. Okay. But the CDs were also popular. CD and DVD were also ROM. Now let us take an example of a kitchen counter. On a kitchen counter where you are actually working, what are you going to keep? And there are shelves. If you have a modular kitchen, there are cabinets. What will you put in the cabinets? And what will you put when you are making certain food or cooking? What will you put on your shelf? So whatever you are putting on the shelf because you need it immediately and regularly, that will be RAM. Okay. You are accessing things often. That is, you have to put it on the counter. But things which you are not accessing often or you don't want it right now, you may be wanting it, they are kept in the shelves or the cabinet. So random access memory is like a kitchen counter. ROM is like a storage shelf. You are storing it, but you will be requiring it in later part. I told you flash memory, like the USB drive you have, pen drives. This is a mix of RAM and ROM. So why not to have a difference between these three? So these are types of memory storage devices. The only work is to keep the memory, keep the data, and all have different technologies. Hard disk, RAM, ROM, CD, DVD. They are not so popular today. Floppy is also already obsolete 10 years back. But it was the starting point, 1.44 MB, only 1.44 MB it can store. But it was really good at that time. Even the Windows will work on this. Memory card, all the mobiles are equipped with this now. Pen drive, everyone has this in the pocket. Tape is also a memory device. This is for backup. If you want to back up your data, important data, then you have tape drives. So this is a kind of tape. Previously the cassettes, earlier times, 30-40 years back. Okay, RAM, when you are doing task on your computer, you are using RAM. That is, RAM is random access memory. It will keep your data temporarily for faster access. It's a faster memory. ROM permanently stores information. Like your BIOS, when your computer start, where will be the data? From where the information is going to get? ROM. Flash memory can permanently store information. It's a flash drive. It has RAM and ROM. So ROM is also there, so you can permanently save the data, have the data. RAM temporarily stores information only till your system is on. Otherwise, when you switch it off, the data will vanish. Okay. Next time when you start, the RAM will be fresh again. No data. ROM, information is stored when the computer is off also. As I said, your computer need to start. In read-only memory, there are CD, DVD where you can write also. But in computer ROM, for BIOS, etc., no. In flash memory, information is not lost because it has RAM also. So when the computer is switched off. In RAM, information is lost. As I said, you switch off the computer, lost. ROM, information cannot be changed so easily. In CD, DVD, you can change because they are read-write also. But when you are talking about the computer memory, a memory which will start a computer. In CD, there were pits pits and troughs and crusts. So you will not see it by naked eyes, but the laser reader will read it. So it's an optical device. CD and DVD also. DVD has a higher capacity. They work on the same concept. Now CD DVD was very popular, but now people are not using it. Still it is being in use. Flash memory. Information can be changed, and it's mainly used in the removable storage devices like the USB devices you have in your pocket now. And its usage is based on the user's need. It's all depends on you. You can have a 2 GB, you can have say 28 GB. So information can be changed easily in RAM because you are accessing it. It's a temporary storage or actual storage while you are working. ROM, as I said again, when your computer will start, from where it will get the data. Or some computer will start previously with CD drives. The operating system will load with CDs or DVDs. Now coming to motherboard. This board is basically an electronics board, sorry. And it has all the electrics and electronics here. But there are electronic devices like the capacitors, like the wires, like the diodes, everything is there. But why it is used? It's a compact form where you can connect different devices, connect different, it's an interface of input and output. It's an interface of all the different peripherals you are adding to your motherboard. Motherboard is the heart of your computer. All the devices which you connect, how do they know each other? How do they transfer the data? Through wires, through some electronic circuitry. So motherboard is referred as a system board. It's a main circuit board inside a computer. So you see, I'm making a box CPU, and the back side we have the ports where you can input. But where are these ports? These ports are actually on the motherboard. So some of the important parts of computer, as we just saw, storage devices, ports and connections. And motherboard is the key. Storage devices are the memory storage devices where you can put the data, retrieve the data, change the data. Say if you want to transfer file from one computer to another, you cannot take a hard drive and you cannot transfer the data. Hard drive is there inside your computer. It's an integral part until you have an external hard drive. But you can put a pen drive. You can put a pen drive and then you can transfer the data. So we have USB, flash drive, hard disk, CD, DVD. These are all the common storage devices. Hard disk you cannot take out. We have external hard drives, but I am talking about the internal hard drive. You cannot take out. It's already permanent there. So CD, flash drives, DVDs, you can always put inside your computer in different places it being provided, and the ports, and then you can take it out and put it somewhere else. External hard drive, you will always see it with an Apple person because they will have an external drive because the memory of the Apple systems are less. The capacity will be different. The storage technology will be different and the storage capacity will be different. For example, 2 GB, 8 GB, 500 MB, this you might have heard about this. So what is this GB? What is this MB? See, basically the data, the lowest level is bits. Bit is basically binary digit. It is 1 or 0. When you combine this 1 or 0, 8 1 and zeros, 1 byte it will be. That is 8 bits will be 1 byte. If you combine this 1 or 0 and you make a pattern of 8, that 8 combined is called as a byte. Right? 8 bits is 1 byte. 8 bits is 1 byte. So bits, as I said, binary digit. See, bit BI is binary. T come from digit. T. So binary digit. Binary digit can only be binary means 2, 0 or 1 only. So this is the smallest storage unit, but we don't deal with 0 and 1 directly. We only deal with bytes. which is one byte is 8 bits. Now this 8 bits is a byte. Now let us go ahead. And this combination 8 bit is representing certain number in letters, symbols. This A is represented by some combination of 8 bit. So if I take 8 bit, it's 1 byte. If I take 1024 byte, see 2 to the power 0 is, everything goes in computer with 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power n power, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 4. 1024 is also 2 to the power 10. 1024 is 2 to the power 10, right? But normally in general language, we call kilo as 1000. In 2 to the power, you won't get 1000. In normal, if you go and take 1 kilo potato, it will be 1000 grams. But in computer science, 1024 is 1 kilo. 24 is extra. Just because it is coming out of 2 to the power 10. In computer memory, everything is 2 to the power. So if you take 1024 byte, 1024 byte is kilobyte. 1024 kilobyte is 1 megabyte. That is 1 byte, 1000 byte is 1 kilobyte. 1000 of 1000 byte is 1 megabyte. Now 1000 to 1000, if you multiply multiple times, there will be different levels which will make. I'll just tell you. 10 to the power 3 is 1 kilo. 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 3 is 10 to the power 6 is 1 megabyte. Now 10 to the power 3 byte is 1 kilobyte. And 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 3 is 1 megabyte. In 1 megabyte, which is 10 to the power 6 actually, multiply 10 to the power 3 again. See, if you say 1024 megabyte, that is 1000 into 10 to the power 6, 10 to the power 9. So this will become a gigabyte. A gigabyte will be 10 to the power 9 byte. Now 10 to the power 9, again multiply 10 to the power 3. So 10 to the power 3 gigabyte will be 1 terabyte. It will be 1 terabyte. So 1 byte, 10 to the power 3 byte, 10 to the power 6 byte, 10 to the power 9 byte, and 10 to the power 12 byte. 1 byte, this is 1 byte, this is 1 kilobyte, this is 1 kilobyte, 10 to the power 6 is 1 megabyte, 10 to the power 9 is gigabyte, 10 to the power 12 is a terabyte. This B has to be capital. See, byte is always capital. MB. B is not, small b is for bit, capital B is for byte. So gigabyte it is. So we are writing capital G and capital B. Every computing device has certain ports from where you can input and from where you can output. Okay? And basically it's motherboard only which connects different ports. Motherboard had those dash port. Okay? So if you see here, this is the back of a CPU I am trying to show. So basically it's a motherboard inside and it has all these jacks, these ports. So if you want to connect a keyboard, you will connect it into the motherboard. You want to connect a mouse, you will use say PS2 connection or wireless or USB. So you put where, which slot, you have to connect it in the computer. So wherever you put it, that are the ports. For example, external hard drive you have to put. You have to put it somewhere. You have to make the connection and that connection is through ports. Okay. So we connect our different peripheral device to the CPU through wires or non-wires also today. So these slots or channels connect these to your system, mouse, keyboard, external hard drives, also to the network also. So you will see USB drive are everywhere. USB is basically universal serial bus. So you will see USB port. You can connect mouse, keyboard, printer, and there are so many devices you can connect through USB now. Okay. It can be through wire. It can be without wire also. You need to have a Bluetooth for that. So USB, you have USB 2.0, USB 3.0. The speed has enhanced. The technology has changed. And the USB B port is something different. It's not that USB. Okay. Sometimes you connect it, the printer has this USB-B port. Then here you see the display port, VGA, HDMI. Okay. So VGA is visual graphics array. HDMI is for high definition multimedia interface. HDMI. These are basically for output technologies. Let me tell you again, video graphics array VGA, HDMI is for high definition multimedia interface. High definition for multiple pixels. Then you have audio port. Your mobile will be having audio port. So you can connect the microphones, speakers, headphones to your computer system or to your computing device. This speaker and the headphone port, speaker and headphone port, they are called as line out port. That is, you are meaning to say that this is a sound output. Ether port is the, previously you might be having landline phones. So that is connected through Ethernet port. Landline phone, there will be a jack, and that is the Ethernet port. And this is today used for high speed internet cable, right? The power port is everything has to have a power to run. So this is for power supply. Now let me just go into the detail of this. See, here these two first you rounded, these are PS2. Now they are almost obsolete. You are not using it because everything is on USB now. And this serial port is for the display purpose. VDU, visual display unit, you connect here. This has no HDMI, but we right now have HDMI port also. This is for video serial port. This is printer parallel port. There are a lot of holes here, and these are all female jacks. You will have a male connector which will go inside this. So this is a printer parallel port. Okay, serial port, output, video. Below this you see, this is a firewire port. It is not open right now. But here if 4 jacks you see, these are USB port. 2.0 it can be 3.0 also. This is RJ45 local area network Ethernet port. RJ45 through, as I said, landline computers, the phones were having. This is an onboard audio analog output. You will see it in your television, etc. Now, Ethernet port and power port, they're also important. See here. Here I didn't show you the power. Power has to be there. Now let me tell you again. This is the serial port. Okay, video output. These are different ports. These are display ports. It can be say HDMI for HDMI also. This is your USB. This is power port. Ethernet port is also shown. It's quite heavy, There will be a SMPS for power. So whatever we have discussed, let us see what we have learned. Which of the following units make up the CPU? Choose and tick all the correct options. A CPU, what does it make? See, a computer system is, the answers also I have shown you, so just for your reference, okay. So, the computer is CPU, input and output. These are the 3 parts. So, if you remove input and output, everything will be CPU. Right? This is a keyboard and this is a mouse I'm trying to show you. Mouse is input, monitor is output. Whatever is inside, this comes under CPU. So input unit, output unit, just remove it. Processing unit, memory unit, control unit, these are all part of your CPU. So what is the answer? A, C and D. Next is, which of the following are names of ports in a computer? Choose and tick all the correct options. So you have HDMI, VGA, USB, Ethernet, all these are the ports. Input is not a port. See, this is the answer. Input is the name we are using for ourselves. This is input, this is output. But the proper industry name is A, C, D and E. There is a talent contest in your town. For participating in the audition, you have to send a recording of a song. What would you connect to your computer to record your song? Now, for that you need, of course, a microphone, a mic. Okay. Scanner will just convert the document from physical to digital. Mouse and keyboard are input devices. Microphone is the answer to record your sound. In your mobile, you might be using microphone every day almost, Okay. Short answer question. Write the purpose of these. So let us see. We have seen in our discussion, but we'll try to learn it again. So input output devices, mic and microphone. So mic has come from microphone only. This is used to record voice on the computer, and also you can communicate through it, through Skype or whichever application you are using. Scanner is, as I just said, so it will take the proper paper document, physical document, and it will convert this digital to its digital file. So paper will be changed into digital format on a computer. Camera is all the images you can take, videos you can record. Barcode reader, it will be used for recording the items purchased in order to create the receipt or bill, because that barcode will have all the information of the product. What is the cost, what is the date, etc. Printer is the opposite of scanner. So whatever digital content is there, it will put it on the paper, physical paper. Now you can hold that paper, and whatever you want to do, you can do then. Speaker, it will play back all the sound based output. Speaker, all these speakers are inbuilt, and if you want to have the other one, you can just use the ports. Okay, this is all about this discussion. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.